Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi, joined by Adam King and Tim May. Of course, 97.1 The Fan and the Tim May Show on YouTube. Fellas, the spring game, and it's going to be a game. There was debate as to whether it was going to be a showcase or a game. Ryan Day made it very clear this week they will play a game on Saturday in Ohio Stadium. And if you want to go to the game, tickets are still available at Ticketmaster, and they're $8 a pop. There's more expensive things you can buy, but $8 will get you in. It's going to be a game, Adam, and Ryan Day said he was asked earlier in the week, what changed? Has things changed? You have a script? And he goes, nah, as we got into this, we realized we got a lot of guys on this football team that did not play, and we got to step it up. And as a matter of fact, this was going to be not a very physical camp. It's turning into one of the most physical camps they've had.
Well, that was one of my biggest takeaways from Saturday's Student Appreciation Day. It was chippy out there. The energy was top-notch. I mean, when you go live with your quarterbacks, that tells me something. And Ryan is trying to see something from this group, and he's right. I mean, you can count probably on two hands maybe the amount of players that actually played in that championship run. And do I need to see Caleb Downs in the spring game? No. Do I need to see Jeremiah Smith in the spring game? No. But, for a guy like Julian saying this is going to be his first real go in the shoe that didn't involve, fourth-string running backs and fourth-string wide receivers, when you look at it, this spring was never about the guys coming back. It's always about bringing the next guys up, and there is so much new. I'm not surprised to see that they got to this point where they said, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have started spring on time and just figured it out from there. They can't go back and change that, but what they can change is what they called the showcase, which I like. They just redid the banner, and then just showcase never existed, no?
Yeah, it's going to be a spring game. And, Tim, we've been doing this a long time.
Extravaganza.
Yeah,
I like it.
We've been doing this a long time. And I say, every spring is important. This year, though, very important because you and I both know that the most important position on the football team is the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And, they brought in Will Howard, and even though Coach Day said it was a competition, we all know Will Howard was handpicked and brought in to be the quarterback. This year, there's a lot of intrigue. We don't know. And so some people were surprised that during practice the other day, during student appreciation, they went live with the quarterbacks. I enjoyed what Brian Hartline said. We ought to be going live. We ought to be going live every day because we got to see who can play quarterback here.
Yeah, but you face jeopardy when you do that, man.
Mike Tomczak.
Yeah, like Adam and I were talking about on Saturday night. I mean, my first spring game I covering the team was 1984, and Mike Tomczak suffered both bones in a lower leg being broken, and that he ended up starting and playing that whole season. It was remarkable. But you do put guys in jeopardy when you go live, especially the quarterbacks. There's damned if you do, damned if you don't, because like Ryan said, and I totally agree with this, and Brian basically was intimating this too. It's simulating. You're simulating with quarterbacks wearing black jerseys on how it could be, but not how it really is. I remember Troy Smith. You remember after the spring game in 2004, when he lamented the fact that quarterbacks weren't live because that's where he was going to set himself apart in that competition. And but the bottom line is you've only got three right now. They may get another guy in the portal. We'll see where that goes, but you don't want to put those guys in jeopardy. As far as the game goes, the way I understand it, it's going to be offense versus defense. It's not going to be like the old days because they've only got 105 guys, if even that right now. So you go offense versus defense. You keep scoring that modified scoring system, and you see where it goes. But to call it a true game, I think is stretching it a little bit.
The other thing.
Somewhere between showcase and game.
Yeah.
And extravaganza.
Well, there we go. We got three things, big words. Let me say this about the quarterback race. And, we've covered a lot of them. And the guy that's the favorite does not always get the job. Now, if you asked me at the beginning of the spring who was the clubhouse leader, I thought it would be Julian Sayin. But, I've said from day one, don't sleep on Lincoln Kielholtz. I saw this kid on the Buckeye Cruise. I mean, he has put on 15 pounds of muscle. He throws the ball very well. And the one thing I want to say about him, he's an incredible athlete. And so I do think, after listening to Ryan Day talk earlier in the week, it is now a two-man race.
100%.
I think it's Julian Sand and Lincoln Keyholtz. I think Tavian, I watch him. My goodness, that guy passes the look test. He's going to be great. But, he really is a newbie. I mean, you talk about newbies. I mean, most of these guys have been in the other two have at least been in the program. Lincoln's got the most experience. But I think it's a two-man race, and I've said it before. I think it's still wide open, and Ryan Day's not showing his hand, but I think this is going to go into the fall.
I said this last night on air. I am surprised at where we are in the quarterback competition, but I think Ryan Day might admit to you that he's a little surprised as well. I think Julian Sayin has been good. But I think it's so funny that Ryan always has these words that he goes back to and leans on, because I believe that's what he's looking for, is doing the simple things right, or the easy things right. Just not doing anything special, constantly play after play, and leading this offense. And I think we saw on Student Appreciation Day that Lincoln Keenholz, when he is on, he is on. He looked so good. He made some great throws. He looked comfortable in the pocket. Julian's saying we know the talent that he is. And I still think if Vegas was running a betting favorite here, I think he's probably well ahead in the end game. But I do think Lincoln has closed this gap so much so that there's no world where we're leaving spring with a quarterback. I don't know that there's a world where the first 2 weeks of fall camp we hear a quarterback. And I think Ryan's okay with that. There's no reason to name a starting quarterback. You don't have to have one till August 30th. What happens inside the Woody, these guys figure it out. They know who the starter is. But I do wonder if Ryan is looking for just a little bit more from Julian Sayin. But also, I think Lincoln has probably surprised a lot of people inside this practice facility.
Tim, half the battle is believing, and talking to Lincoln Keyholtz, this guy believes. He believes. Well, you didn't have to sing. Anyways.
I thought that was beautiful, Tim.
Oh, my goodness.
That was
I'm on my own
Dom,
journey.
just give him the mic. We don't need, just sing.
I'm on my own journey.
See, as a pun, Dom.
Here we go. There you go. This is what I'm stuck with.
I was talking about
ladies
Lincoln Keyholtz before spring started, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, but he believes.
Well, yeah, he believes. I mean, he's been here he's going on his third year here. He probably knows the system better than anybody. Number two, not many guys have improved themselves physically more than he has since he first showed up at 185 pounds. Now he's like 210 or what? You can just see how he's changed physically. And then as a quarterback, he came here. He played probably every sport but tiddlywinks back in Pierre, South Dakota. He might even played tiddlywinks. Now that he's majored in football, he's a different kind of guy. And I get poo-pooed a lot by people when they just want to say this is the guy.
Right.
When in fact Ryan Day is not going to say. Ryan Day has never just flat out said this is the guy. He didn't say that last spring. This time last spring, Devin Brown was probably ahead of Will Howard. If you watch the practices, like the Student Appreciation Day. And the point is, as Billy Fessler said, all three of these guys have been recruited to Ohio State with the idea that all three of them are capable of playing quarterback here. The question is, who's going to be that guy going into the season opener against Texas? And who knows, maybe after that. But right now, based on Saturday, as Adam and I talked about after that scrimmage the other day, the more comfortable looking guy at quarterback was Lincoln Keenholtz. Julian Sayin just never really got into a comfort zone, in my opinion. And the thing about quarterback is we want to talk about the passes like Lincoln's pass to Carnell Tate for like 45 yards, which was right on the money, or the one over the middle to Brandon Ennis on I call it an underneath post, but was right on the money, and Brandon Ennis makes the catch. But it's also getting the offensive line in the right play, in the running game, and all these little things like Ryan is talking about. And so, yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them to name a starting quarterback right now. And number two, you do want it to be a competition, and Ryan thinks both of these guys are capable, as he pointed out to us the other day. We'll see where the rest of the spring goes.
And I will say this to you folks at home. There's a lot of people out there that think they know. They put it out. They say all this stuff. And I'll tell you what, if you don't hear Tim May or I or Adam say it, it's probably, it's conjecture. There's a lot of conjecture out there. And the bottom line is this. only one guy knows who's the starting quarterback's going to be, and his name is Ryan Day.
His name is Dom Tiberi.
No, his name is Ryan Day.
Tim, sing us out here.
There you go.
Don't stop.
Goodbye. Goodbye. I'm leaving.